The goal of this video is for you beginners who may have just been on your first deployment. Here's Xactimate training. Let's get right into it. What you'll first notice is that I have my sketch on my left side of the screen, and then on the right side of the screen I have the Xactimate program. Now I've already started drawing or selected the room tool. You can easily do that by hitting the R on your keyboard and it'll bring up a 12 by 12 room. Now, most rooms aren't 12 by 12. As you can see on the left, a part of my wall is 14.5 feet. Then there's openings that are not 12 by 12, and it's actually not a square, it's a rectangle, and it has its cutouts. Unfortunately, it's really hard to show you how to sketch out a room without you being in person, but I do advise before you get on your first deployment, or even if you're on your first deployment now, practice in your room. Maybe you're at a hotel room, you're staying with somebody, and you can also practice in the hallway. For example, if you're in the hotel, you can also do the gym. That will maybe like a 12 by 12 square room, but then you have the columns and posts that might be in there as well. Okay, back to the Xactimate drawing. What I'm doing is I'm just dragging the room out in order to get the desired length, which I think is like 28.5 feet. So I am just making sure that it is that right length before I start to put in the additional sides as well as the openings. To create like the angles, or if the room has an L shape, or if you need more room, you can hit that break tool or hit B on your keyboard. That B will allow you to take a room that's not square and maybe it has a little cutoff like a hallway, maybe a great example of that. And you can use the break tool. You place it where you want to change the wall. You just click on it, and then it comes up with the two different sides and allowing you to move just one side of that wall. So if you look at the bottom of my sketch, you can see what I'm trying to do there. At the very bottom, there's a few right angles that I need to include in this sketch. If you work as a auto adjuster, you won't be needing to use Xactimate. Good news, right? However, the most money is made in the field where we go out and we sketch these rooms. The next thing I'm doing is I'm grabbing another room to be able to add to this floor plan for the affected area. So sometimes you'll have a house that got hit by water and the rain penetrated the exterior and got on the inside of the property. So you need to be able to sketch out the additional rooms. This could also be a closet. I do so many sketches, I don't quite remember which one this is, but I may be taking the long way just to draw out a hallway. I could have also just used the missing wall tool to create the missing wall. So when you're in the house, and there's an open floor plan, but you may still want to separate out the kitchen versus the dining room area because the floors are different, but there's no real wall that separates it, you can use the missing wall tool. So this was obviously in my very beginner days. I think it's like 2016 is the date on here, where I really wasn't great at Xactimate, but you do what you can to get by when it's your first deployment and you want to stay on it. To remove a wall, you can also click on it and hit delete, and then that'll also give you the missing wall effect. Now, I haven't named any of these rooms, but you do want to name your rooms as you go because your inside desk adjuster needs to know what is what because they're not at the property, you are. All right, so now what I need to do is add the doors. Almost every single room is going to have a door, again, except if you have an open floor plan. But people have to get in and out of rooms, right? So they make it really easy to add a door. You just hit the D on your keyboard. Now, if you notice, the doors just flipped, so you can go back, take a second look at that. You want to use I guess it's the bracket key, like that little open square underneath. It's not the parentheses, it's not the squiggly brackets, but it's the other brackets, kind of next to the P on your keyboard. Each one does something different. One will flip it in, flip it out. The other will flip it per which way the door actually opens up. Very important, so that you get an accurate depiction of the room. Now, it's really easy to maneuver. You just click, and I'm just using my mouse to move things around. Also, you can click on the wall to test out how long the wall is. You can also use the wall tool to build yourself a wall. You can even use the wall tool to build yourself a half wall. Some homes have an open floor plan, but they may have like a half wall that divides one room from the other. Some people have like their toilet areas set up like that, where half a wall is divided, and the tub is on the other side. So a half wall tool or a wall tool will help you there. To make it a half wall tool, you would just need to click on that and set the properties to being 4 feet versus the automatic 8 feet. It just comes out as 8 feet. This whole room, everything is 8 feet. So here's a good tip for you. Always measure your ceiling height. Always, because some rooms are not 8 feet. Sometimes there's less than, and that's an illegal room. You can adjust the walls, and just keep in mind, once you move one, you're manipulating everything else. See that little square with the finger that's at the bottom right? That's where you would change the properties to make your wall 4 feet versus 8 feet. Or you can change your ceiling height from 8 feet to 9 feet. Or sometimes some ceilings are 16 feet. I have truly come a long way since I've started using XACTIMATE. I'm looking at this like, man, what was I doing as a beginner? But you just make your way through it the best that you can when you're first starting. And again, you can get it down to the very inch. Some companies and some trainers at those companies are going to have you be very finicky to get it down to the exact inch, where some people will just square out the room, bing, bang, boom, and be done. If you don't have a good sketch, which my sketch is on the left side of the screen, if you don't have a good sketch, you're not going to do well when it comes to inputting it into XACTIMATE. Sometimes you do remember more when you come back and redraw it on XACTIMATE, like I'm drawing in that door there. Even though I have it as like an opening on my sketch. But again, you can see how the doors, one flops in, one flops out. So, and now I just rotated it so it has the difference. And if you hit that square that had the finger pointing on it, you can also change it from like a single door to a double door or a French door or a sliding door. To zoom in, you usually just can use your mouse and your wheel and just roll up or down to zoom in and out. So now I'm just checking to see if it looks anything like my initial sketch. You guys let me know, what do you think? Does it look like it? Or did I change it along the way? Okay, so this is great because now you can see me renaming the room. See, this is a basement, and those two are hallways. Would have been much easier to use the wall tool, but I think the reason why I used the room tool for this is because the flooring is the same. A wall tool, I don't know if it would put the flooring in there because it wouldn't really consider it a room. Now for some reason I just made that an angle, or I guess I'm trying to shorten it up, but there's much easier ways to do that that will come as you get practice with Xactimate. Stay tuned for more videos because I'll have some coming out that do show you those step by steps. But let me know what you think. Did I get it right or not?